Hey, hi, hello, and welcome to the Caught on Video. It says me, Honey Halliwell, and as you might have noticed, I have a clean palette going on here. Very clean, nothing at all. And I swore that I would never be seen with an empty face, but I kind of have to because this is how I start one-shots. And I promised that I would do a one-shot with you today, and I also promised that I would show off my improvisational skills that I bragged so much about last time while I was dyeing my hair. I have absolutely no idea where I'm going to go with this one-shot thing, so I'm going to start by reading letters and answering questions, and maybe something will come to me. So here we are with a plain face, by the way, and this is also going to prove something to you about how much I hate Photoshop. I loathe Photoshop. It's everywhere you go, and as I said in the first episode, so this is full disclosure, guys, this is me without my makeup on. Ta-da! So you can actually tell by looking at my pictures how little things are photoshopped, alright? And I'm going to answer a little more about that in a question coming up. This guy has a lot of questions about superheroes, which is really neat that people send me questions like this. It's actually pretty cool. So he asked if I preferred DC over Marvel. I like characters with deep-seated flaws. While they're saving the day, they have to give up something in the process. There's something going on deep inside of them, whether they're fighting with themselves or they're giving up their family, or there's something tragically flawed about them that they have to fight with while they're fighting the bad guys. They're obsessive compulsive. They have bipolar disorder. I don't know. There's something inside them that they're fighting with, or something that they have to give up, like a loved one. While Superman did have Lois Lane, it just seemed superficial. Now, don't get me wrong, I know there's some Superman fans out there going, I hate you right now. Don't, please. I was raised on the George Reeves Superman television show. I was also raised on the first Batman with Adam West, and come on, Julie Newmar, seriously. I like them both. I saw the first Batman series and the first Superman series. I saw the movies when I was growing up in the 80s. I saw the Batman animated series. I saw Batman Beyond, and if you haven't, my God, future Batman rocks. And the soundtrack is awesome. Characters that I really, really, really love are Dr. Doom. There is nobody like Doom. And when he talks about how brilliant he is, it's totally justified. I fell in love with him reading The Secret Wars. In fact, I think I have a picture of me reading The Secret Wars. I have played Emma Frost in Marvel games, and I intend to play her again soon. I absolutely love her. In fact, I also plan to have a tattoo of her at some point, because she's an anti-hero, and if I'm going to play anyone heroic, it is going to be someone who is teetering on the dark side. Harley Quinn, yeah, and Wonder Woman. I don't know that I would play her as a character, but I fell in love with her when I was a kid, and she's getting a little dark, actually, in the New 52, so I'd encourage someone to read that if they want to revisit Wonder Woman and maybe realize that she's not entirely a goody two-shoes. What movies this summer are you looking forward to? I can't say I'm looking forward to anything right now. We're in a golden age of television, but not necessarily movies. Movies need to learn from television right now. They need to take a look at Breaking Bad and go, how can we make something like this into a movie? Because people will sit and watch the entire Breaking Bad series. They'll sit and watch all of Game of Thrones without moving. They will stop taking bathroom breaks just to see what happens in this scene. A guacamole scene, for crying out loud. Just to see what happens, because the tension is so strong. I will sit and do that through The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Nothing happens. Three guys are just standing, staring at each other with their hands on their guns. There's nothing else happening. Why? Because the tension is just so awesome. they really need to take a look back at old films and learn something from it, because there's really nothing in movies today that interests me. I've seen movies ruin my old favorites like Clash of the Titans. Even as old as it is, the claymation, I still have that awesome feeling from watching that as a kid. Have it spark my love of mythology and everything that followed afterwards. So I was glad to see Veronica Mars. I was ecstatic to see that. I actually rented it the day it was released, and that was pretty cool. Again, eager to see Star Wars. I will go see Star Wars. What other games other than RPG do you like to play? Mean-spirited, screw-your-neighbor type games. Actually, hold on one sec, I can show you. I like card games. I did just actually happen to have these right here in the kitchen. They're waiting for me to go out and play board games with my game group, which is cool. We go out and drink and play board games. But I love to bring these with me because I like little games that help you screw your neighbor over, and as long as nobody takes it personally, it's great fun. I'm impy when it comes to games. So this one is Run for Your Life Candyman, and it's exactly what it looks like. It is Candyland, but you are playing little gingerbread men who, with weapons and candy cage matches, you get to beat the living crap out of your fellow gingerbread man. And your goal is to make them crumble before they get to the end. And you can use all kinds of, cards and weapons and things like that to make sure that that happens. And whoever gets to the end, even if you just have one little hand left over, you win. It's great evil fun. Run for Your Life Candyman. And then my other favorite is Tiki Mountain, which your goal is to sacrifice yourself to the evil volcano god. See? So if you're the Tiki that actually makes it to the end and sacrifices yourself to the evil volcano god, you actually win. There's all these cards that you can play to screw over your Tiki companions, because that's all your goal. You can take away their cards. You can set mud slides in front of them and stuff to make sure that they don't make it to the end. It's all great. Again, evil, impish fun. So these are the types of games that I like to play. There's also other games that I've mentioned in past shows, which is why I'm not going to mention them again. But if you like impish little screw your neighbor games, then I would suggest those two. If you have questions about any more, by all means, leave them somewhere, and I can probably suggest some more for you. So, let me see. One more question from this guy, and then I'll move on. He asked, are you also a Star Trek fan, or are you one of those Star Trek versus Star Wars fans? And I am going to steal a page from George Takei on this one, because I love the man intensely. There was actually a point where William Shatner and Carrie Fisher got into a flame war. I've actually read books by William Shatner as well, and he's a fantastic guy. So it was really interesting to hear this battle was going on. And people called in George Takei to mediate. And pretty much what he did was he talked to them, and he went and started what he called the Star Alliance, which is aligning people for good sci-fi against crappy sci-fi like Twilight. And that was pretty much it. To shun bad science fiction and have everybody embrace good sci-fi like Star Wars, Star Trek, Babylon 5. And I've totally been on this page. I was raised on Star Trek, too. I mean, I watched the original Star Treks when I was a kid and growing up. I've seen all of the Star Trek series. Now, granted, my cat really likes Voyager more than I do. He would sit every night that I would watch the entire series, and his eyes would be all big, and he'd get really excited. He loves Voyager. So, yeah, I have a Trekkie cat. I love the entire series. I really liked Deep Space Nine. Dukat was a fantastic villain, and again, like I say, the strength of everything is in its villains. And so I loved him. The ending was the crappiest ending, except for Battlestar Galactica, in which the ending ruined the entire series for me. All right, so I'm going to have this sip, and then I'm going to go on to the next question. I encourage you to drink coffee with me, especially if it is the crack of nobody should be awake this early right now as it is here. This is something that I want to do for a living, so I have set a normal schedule. God, nobody should live on this schedule. All right, so this is a big question, and it's one I get really often. I hope you find the answer amusing. The question is, how do I stay so young? Okay, guys. All I can say to that is abuse the living crap out of yourself. Really, that's the answer. I do everything that you really shouldn't do if you're trying to stay looking young. The only thing that I've had is a attitude of being young and not letting the world tell me that I need to grow up. That's all. That's all I've had. As far as staying looking young, I really have to say, don't take my example. Except for, stay current, keep young friends, and don't let society tell you how to live. Now, let me think. I have had in the back burner of my mind this wig that I just got. And I have been wanting to have a wig like this for some time because back in the winter I had this black hair with bangs. So I have this black wig, long black wig with the bangs. So what do I do with that? It was from when I had that gangster look going on. You remember the godmother? Oh. Remember the godmother? Let me refresh your memory. So for those of you who are familiar with the godmother, cool. You got an idea. And for those of you who haven't seen that before, well, I introduced you to the godmother. That was a really cool concept. I did a couple of photos in that vein during that year. That one particular photo, though, I took with my photographer, Gino, and we did 5 different shots that day. So when I got smacked, and now some of you guys smacked me for doing the godmother in that particular scene because you said that while the godmother was really cool, I could have done her in a different setting that would have made it more appropriate, and I agreed with you. So, given what I have, I can finally do an appropriate godmother. This is an exercise in creativity for you guys, so you can see all of these pieces and kind of start using your imagination to wonder how these might come together in your mind. So I have several pieces here. I have several pieces put off to the side, mostly because I want you to imagine, as I'm getting ready, how we are going to put all these pieces together. And it doesn't matter if you're right. What matters is that you're thinking about how we're going to put all these pieces together. And why is it important that you're thinking about these things? So you can do it yourself. Because that's what I'm trying to impart to you. The ability to use found objects, the ability to, sit here, work your brain and go, I can use this tablecloth as a dress or something. That's what I want. That's what I want you to get from this. I'm doing this so that you can use your mind to do it for yourself. That's the point. Okay? So I have the godmother's signature fedora right here. These puppies I love to wear all the time, especially in the winter. You will rarely find me without a fedora. Now, I have this really awesome hair, which I love to show off, so I haven't worn them this season, but I have lots of fedoras, and you can see them on honeymodel.deviantart.com. I love the fedoras, but this particular one is the godmother's fedora, so I can't do a godmother photo without doing the fedora. Here it is. Styling. All right. And then I have the wig, which, as you can tell, is this really awesome sort of Japanese wig. I got this puppy for $8 on Amazon. Amazon is your friend. That is one thing you must learn from me. $8 on Amazon. If you want to do any sort of your own thing sort of look, guys, go to Amazon. If you think that it costs a bundle to look like you want to look, go to Amazon. I have a ton of these tattoo sheets in my studio, and I grabbed this one because I think that for a gangster, something like this one would be really cool. Gotta love Ed Hardy. It's the little things that matter when it comes to photo shoots. You really want to grab one little thing, something that speaks to the personality. I'm not sure where I'm going to put it right now, but we'll see though, because it's all improv, right? It's bound to change. And then got this. Again, as you're thinking about these things, think about how we might use them. Obviously, signature red lips. Just because you're a godmother don't mean you can't be sexy. Scary. But sexy. I've been holding on to these for some time. And I think godmother might be a really good way to use them. I said this was twofold, so how? What am I gonna do? I guess you'll have to think on that while I go get ready to do makeup. So come join me in the bathroom, where you tend to spend a lot of your time, and we'll start on makeup. Okay, I'm still not sure what kind of top I'm gonna wear, but this is how the process goes. You just throw things at it until something happens. So here I am. I've got, I don't know, some sort of wife beatery thing on. My bra is showing a little bit. So this is a little bit more of a rough and tumble kind of godmother than it is a more neat and clean kind of godmother thing going on. And I got a tie. I don't know how long that's going to last, but for now, this is what I'm doing. I have my wig here, and I got my tattoos here, my lipstick, I got my makeup up there. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start putting my wig on, then we'll do makeup. I got my makeup here. See how lazy I am? I really need to organize it somehow. I just can never get around to it. I think we're going to refrain from really dark, dramatic, like I had planned originally. This isn't the godmother that I originally decided. I'm going to do lighter colors on the lips. Though I do think a nice line on the eyelids is a good idea. Nice dramatic eyeliner. Really simple. Like that. Yeah, it's really interesting to see how first time mistake can turn into something good, and I guess in a way I'm glad this worked out, because the top originally, while not godmother material, did look more mookish. Sometimes you need to learn to just roll with things. That they take up the whole screen, right? And then I want some nice thick lashes too. The best lashes that I found, personally, is the Scandal Eyes, because I love the whole retro look, and they gave me some nice retro lashes, and that's really not that awfully expensive. It's a little more expensive than the really cheap stuff, but sometimes I'll pay a little more for quality. Sometimes. Alright, so that didn't take as long as I thought it would. What we have is pretty much a low-level mook, and I like it. Like a lot. I'm gonna schlep a tattoo on her. But sometimes it is a little role-playing. I mean, I have to get into the character in order to pull it off. You know what I mean? Would you like to try on these cement shoes? Now you'd be real good or this'll happen to you. Where would be a good spot for a tattoo? And the tattoos are really easy, and you get the good quality. Hardy tattoos are definitely a pretty good quality tattoo. I also found that my zombie tattoos. Hold on. I usually keep them in the bathroom because I use them so often. There we go. These are really awesome. I mean, I want my whole body covered with real tattoos, but I find them very handy for modeling because I can cover the parts that aren't covered by real tattoos with these suckers. And until I can get my whole body covered with real tattoos, I can use these to fill in spaces and cover the mood I'm trying to cover by fake ones for now. And as you can tell, this one is from my last show and my last photos, and it's still there. It's a little messed up, but it's still there. One of my ankles are still there from my Liz Taylor shoot. It's crazy. It's gonna last a really long time. Yeah, you put them on. Steal a towel from wherever you can find one. I'm a cool fruit, but today I don't know where my towels are really. I guess that counts, right? I don't know where my towels are. Maybe. I mean, last week you guys helped me to have my bathroom clean, but this week, forget it. You are in my mess right now. Yay! So this is about 30 seconds or so. You leave the tattoo covered with water. So this is where we hear the intermission music. I'm always set with intermission music. It's like you leave me on too long, and I'll just start with intermission music. And then people look at me like I'm a weirdo. But I come stocked. Alright. Let's see if it... like, let's see if it stayed. No, it hasn't. But make sure you take the plastic backing off, by the way. Here, look at my breast. There. Make sure you take the plastic backing off before using a fake tattoo. And I say that because there have been plenty of times when I haven't, and I have lived to regret it. I have rued the day. Alright, so now we're going to head downstairs, and I'm going to continue on the plan that I originally had. The only thing that's changed is my look here. Vogue. Let me grab my camera, my tripod, and we'll do an actual shoot. Yay! Apparently I didn't get any film of filming this, so I have to do some filming. Wait, I see it. You got 4 fingers left. And there you have it, Boys and Mooks, our new one-shot. I'm going to throw this up, and you'll be seeing it probably today, probably before you see this video, making of. So I'll meet you in a couple of minutes, and we'll wrap this up. Talk to you soon. So here we are at the end, and I hope your horizons have been expanded a little bit. What would you have done differently with those pieces? Just let it mull around in your brain a little bit. I would really like to see how you guys would have taken those parts and made them work differently. It really, really intrigues me how different people think differently. But my goal is to expand your creative minds and give you inexpensive ways to do that. So I hope that I've attained my goal by helping you attain yours. Here's news about a couple weeks from now. Next week I want to pretty much do what I'm tentatively calling my last words episode, because the following week I am going into the hospital for a little while. When I get out, I'm not going to be moving around very much. So I wanted to tell you what I want to get out entirely. Do what you will with it. It's what I have always wanted to say if I had the chance. So next week, my last words episode. Come July 4th, I'm going to be able to finally get tattooed again, and I want you to be involved as much as possible. I have my eBay tattoo donation sale, and if you go there and you spend money on my clothes, you're going to be donating to my tattoos. Every little shred of anything you spend is going to my tattoos, which in turn is going to be filmed for my show, and then I am going to make that tattooing session available in show format, so you're going to be able to see me getting those tattoos, and I'm going to be talking about you. It's kind of recursive. It's just like this big circle. It's like the circle of life, but only tattoos. And you are going to be under my skin forever. And also don't forget that the first photo shoots I have taken with those tattoos, they're going to have your name all over it with my things. So tune in next week for my last words. And until then,